So the big news in January for premium bonds holders is that the prize rate is going to increase massively. From that one, which will be probably 2nd, 3rd, 4th of January, bank holidays might push it back a little bit. The prize rate will be 3%. That's up from the current rate of 2.2%. And it's actually the third increase we've seen in the last 9 or 10 months because we were at 1% before that. So it would have tripled in the space of a year, in less than a year. So that will be for draws that take place from January onwards. And I'll come back to eligibility for that one in a moment. If you haven't got any money in premium bonds right now, then you won't be able to be eligible until February. But so I'll come back to that. Now, this video, I'll take you through these changes. I'll take you through how many prizes there are at different levels. So you maybe get an idea of what you might be able to get as a return. This isn't a video that's a deep dive into how premium bonds work because I've already done that over here. The rates in that one will be out of date. So you need to watch this one and that one. But if you're brand new to premium bonds, do check that out. What I will do, just as a quick kind of cover up, is remember that premium bonds are a kind of savings account. The big difference is you do not earn interest. You notice I called it a prize rate. That is because it is not a guaranteed amount of interest. So this is a chances of winning. If you have the average rate of luck, then the amount of money you have saved should on average return 3% to you over the year in one prize or a number of prizes, whatever it might be. But there's also a very good chance you get nothing at all. You might get more than 3%. You might get less than 3%. You might get nothing. So you have to go into this with your eyes open that if you absolutely want a guaranteed return on your savings, you want to be looking at savings accounts. And I will look at how they compare right now to other accounts in a moment. Obviously, things can change and I'm sure they will. So that's what premium bonds are. A draw takes place at the start of every single month and the prizes get sent out to you. Really important to know that prizes are tax-free. That is something that a lot of people might find interesting about premium bonds. Most of us, it's not going to be relevant because there's something called the personal savings allowance. Again, I've got a whole video talking about tax on savings. So check that one out if you're worried about this. But fundamentally, most of us, if you're a basic rate taxpayer, you can earn £1,000 in interest every single year tax-free. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, you can earn £500 of interest every single year tax-free, as the interest will not be taxed at all. And those numbers are pretty hefty. For most people, they're going to be fine. Although obviously interest rates have been increasing quite a lot over the last year. And that means some people might be getting closer to that if they have large sums of money or they're taking account of all those different regular savers. Maybe I talked about drip feeding in a recent video from easy access into regular savers, or you've got fixed accounts and you might be getting hit close to those allowances, in which case you might think premium bonds could be good for some of your money. And if you're an additional rate taxpayer, and remember the band for that, how much you have to earn to go into that additional rate of tax, at 45% tax rate, is changing in April. It's reducing from 150k to around 125k. If you are in that bracket, you do not get a personal savings allowance at all. So if you want to get any interest tax-free, it's either got to be in an ISA or in premium bonds. So again, some of you more people might be interested in this now if they are really taking advantage of other accounts out there or don't have a PSA. But fundamentally, that's premium bonds. As I said, watch my other video that goes into a bit more detail about how it works. Let's look at this change that is happening from January. So the prize rate, say currently 2.2%. The next draw that's going to take place on, say, early January, that is going to be 3%. What that actually means is, let's get the table up here to give you an idea. What that actually means is there won't be, there are some extra prizes as coming into this, a few extra ones, but there's not actually going to be that many more. So your chances of winning a prize haven't changed at all. In fact, the odds are remaining at 24,000 to 1. So for every single premium bond that's out there, then there will be, that does win a prize, there will be 23,999 premium bonds that do not win anything. That hasn't changed at all. What you can see from this table, we've got the value of the prizes and the number of prizes in the draw that's just happened a few weeks ago in early December 2022, and how many prizes they're going to be of each level in January 2023. You can see that they're actually increasing quite significantly the higher prizes. So, okay, there's still going to be 2 £1 million prizes. That isn't changing. The next one down, the £100,000 prize, still unlikely you're going to get it, but there were 18 of those. There will be 56. So that is 3 times the number of prizes. So you've got a better chance of getting that. Still unlikely, but you've got a better chance. And this continues as we go down. There were 36 £50,000 prizes. There's going to be 112. This is estimated. Actual numbers will happen when the draw happens. They'll give you a proper idea. And this goes all the way down. They're all getting more and more and more, higher and higher and higher, until we get down to this last one here, the £25 prize, which In my experience of premium bonds in the past, was all I ever won. I didn't win any of the big prizes. In fact, because these are the most prizes out there, you're most likely to get any prize at all. It's going to be a £25 prize. But this is where it's interesting. There are actually going to be less of them next time. So actually, if you're going to win a prize, if you do win something, you've got a better chance of winning a higher prize than before. And that is where this 3%, the increase from 2.2 to 3% comes from. Your chances of winning are the same, but when you do win, say it's likely to be a larger amount of money. Now, as I've said before, and it's worth reiterating it again, it doesn't mean you will get a 3% return on the money saved in there. It's an average luck that you will get a 3% return. So let's say you had £1,000 saved, you would save 3% of that would be 30 quid, wouldn't you? Which would be great. But remember the lowest prize is 25 quid. The next one after that is 50 quid, whether that's a 50 quid prize on its own or 2 lots of 25. So if you had £1,000 and you got a £25 prize, well, that's 2.5%. So that's not 3%. But if you've got £50, which is possible, it's unlikely, but it's possible, then all of a sudden you get in a 5% return. So that 3% is a good indication. It is not what you will get. You may well, on average, as I say, average rate of luck, get close to that, but chances are you won't. And in fact, the lower amount, this has been sort of proven with premium bonds in the past, the lower the amount of money you have, the greater the chances that you won't win anything at all. Because it's not just we're talking about £25 prize all the time, we're talking about 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, £1 million. So if someone gets £1 million, then there's someone who's not getting any money elsewhere, are they? So you've got to take that sort of a pinch of salt. When you put the money into there, if you have lower amounts of money in the hundreds, maybe even in the low thousands, you probably won't win anything at all. And even so, as we start going up, and then we won't know for certain what that is. Money Saving Expert has a fantastic calculator which does all the maths for it because it's pretty difficult mathematics. No one's going to be able to do it on their own. It's a program that does it. When the January draw happens, you might get a better chance of how much money you'll get, what your equivalent interest rate would be on average luck. But really, to get close to that 3%, you are going to want to have, I would imagine here, above 40k, £45,000. They're getting close to that £50,000 to get close to that 3%. So is it worth it for a 3%? Is it worth it for a 2.9, a 2.8, 2.7, 2.6 return? Well, if you compare it to the other interest rates available to you right now in easy access accounts, forget about fixed accounts, forget about regular savers, right now, as of today, then that's not too bad, actually. There are some limited access accounts paying 3%. You've got that from Yorkshire Building Society, you've got that from HSBC. So that is a guaranteed 3%, but you might only be able to get your money out of there once or twice a year, or if you take money out, the rate might drop. So you might think from that point of view, actually, premium bonds could well win, even if I'm getting a bit less. Then there are some kind of the best kind of pure easy access, although it is a little bit different. And I will probably do a video about this soon just to take you through the pros and cons of it. Chip right now have a 2.9% paying easy access account. Bit of a complicated one, but that one, 2.9, well, that's lower than 3%, which is great. Okay, so you 3%, even if you don't get the full 3%, if you get a little bit less, you're going to be kind of maybe a bit more, comparable. You could, for the chance of winning a bigger prize, for the chance of getting more, you might go for it. Then we're looking at 2.81, below that 2.6, 2.55. You see what I mean? So actually, right now, on the day it's released for this draw in January, it's looking pretty good, pretty optimistic. You might not beat the other rates available to you on easy access, but you might not be too far off. And if you like a bit of a punt, a little bit of a see if you're going to be in it to win it sort of thing, it could be worth a go. However, I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 13th of December. In 2 days' time, on Thursday, the 15th of December, the Bank of England are meeting to discuss what they're going to do about base rates, the base interest rate. They've done 9 successive increases in the last 12 months. It was at 0.1% a year ago. It's now sitting at 3%. And the expectation is it will increase this week. I will obviously do an update on the channel on Thursday to let you know what's happening either way, going up, going down, staying the same, whatever happens. But that is going to have some kind of impact on those easy access and limited access savings accounts. I mean, it may even have an impact on the prize rate on the premium bonds, but it's unlikely any immediate change is going to happen. So it could well be that even if we don't see some of these other accounts nudge things up a little bit on Thursday, or even if because we're going close to Christmas, things don't move, but maybe in the new year they start to nudge them up a little bit. They don't have to push them up, but they might do. Then all of a sudden, if we are seeing accounts start to go 3.25, 3.3, maybe up to 3.5%. Again, I don't know here, I'm just speculating, but if we start seeing that, And that is a guaranteed rate. And again, we're talking about large sums of money here, not small amounts of cash, not like earning £1 interest versus £1.20 interest. If we're talking about hundreds of pounds difference of guaranteed versus speculative income, so guaranteed via a proper savings account versus speculative via premium bonds, then you might start to go, actually, I'd rather have my money in those accounts where I'm guaranteed to get that cash. Now, I will do, as ever, regular updates on what's going on with all the different savings accounts. So if there are any of those changes, I'll let you know. So make sure you do hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, or head over to becleverwithyourcash.com/savings, where every single day I'm putting in the best buy savings accounts across a whole number of different options there. So that's a place to look at if anything's happened, if you need to move your money there and then. But let's just assume you're happy with this new rate of premium bonds. How do you go about getting it? What do you do to do it? So if you've already got money in premium bonds, then hopefully you should be eligible for that draw at the start of January. However, that's only for money that was put in before the end of November. If you put money in on the 2nd of December, if you put money on today on the 13th of December, you're watching this and you put money in on the 21st of December, whatever it might be, you will not be eligible for that prize draw at the start of January. Because money has to be held in premium bonds for a whole calendar month to be eligible for the next draw. So any money you save in December won't be eligible for that prize draw at the start of February. However, any money that's been in here since before the end of November, that will be eligible for the draw in January. So it's really important you know that. If you are tempted to put money in, I would wait. I would put that money in 29th, 28th December, maybe 30th December, whatever it is, right at the end of the month. 31st is the last eligible date, and that'll be fine as well. Put your money in then, and right now, until then, just keep it in the best paying account you possibly can. Otherwise, you move it over there, it's doing nothing for the next couple of weeks, plus that month afterwards. And if you do want to buy them, you buy them from National Savings and Investments. And it's very important here, the minimum amount you can buy is £25. Although each bond costs £1, you have to buy them minimum of 25 quid. Or as I said, those small amounts, they're not worth it. We are looking here about much, much larger amounts of money, thousands, if not tens of thousands, to make them worthwhile, particularly when you consider the fact that you can get, with Barclays customers right now in the Blue Rewards Rainy Day Saver, jump for a few little hoops to be eligible for that, but it's pretty simple. You can get 5.12% on £5,000. You know, that is much, much better than a possible 3% in premium bonds for £5,000. And there are other accounts that work in similar ways, plus regular savers. So again, we're talking here not for small amounts of money, larger amounts, and do keep an eye, as I said, on what happens with the base rate, what happens to other savings accounts to know whether it's worth your while. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below whether you're going to give premium bonds a go again now the rate has increased. And until that time, check out these videos here for more on your savings.